Welcome to the Marketing of Business. This is your host, Bonnie Squires. We're brought to you by ACT, Advertising Communications Times. That's the business-to-business newspaper that tells you anything you would like to know about advertising, branding, and communications in the Delaware Valley. We're coming to you from the studios of WWDB. That's 860 on your AM dial. The studios in Bala Cynwyd. And our guest in the studio with us today is Sherri Gold, the managing partner and an event director for the Sports and Education Expo. Welcome to the Marketing of Business, Sherri.
Hi, Bonnie. Thank you very much for having me.
And your big date is coming along December 13th to 15th at the Convention Center in Philadelphia, correct?
That is correct. 3-day show, right? 2 weeks before the holidays.
I hope you don't need me to demonstrate any exercises. That's not my forte. I have to warn you.
Well, we have people there for that.
Oh, good. Tell us what the Sports and Education Expo will consist of.
We are covering sports on a few different levels. We're covering multiple sports, first of all, baseball, softball, soccer, even fishing. Yes, believe it or not, fishing is a sport in college. We are looking at covering sports for a few different age group levels. The first being parents who might come in with, like, say, 5 to 8-year-olds who don't play a sport yet. And we're going to be able to offer them the opportunity.
Don't they have Pee Wee baseball or Pee Wee soccer?
Sure, they have Pee Wee everything. But the point is that young kids can come in and pick up a golf club for the first time or kick a soccer ball around for the first time. They can go from sport to sport and experience what it's like. And the beauty here is that we have the major umbrella organizations for sports, such as the USTA, the United States Tennis Association, the U.S. Rowing Association. We'll have U.S. Youth Soccer, the PGA Philadelphia region. All of these organizations will be there so that parents can come, visit their booths, and find out where they can get their kids involved. But more importantly, for the next age level, kids who may already be playing a sport that might want to play, say, at a more competitive level or with a travel team, they'll be able to find out where they can go and what their choices are for that. And the last age group that we're dealing with in regards to sports are high school students who may want to play sports in college. So there will be a lot of resources there for them to find out, how do I transition from high school into college?
You're going to have like a college fair?
We are going to have a college planning fair.
We're
going to have a college planning fair. I think the most important aspect to our college planning fair is not so much schools in attendance, but the presenters that we're providing to give very relevant information for our high school students and their parents, NCAA rules and regulations, all the changes that are coming up, admissions. And when I say admissions, there's a lot of new things in the work that people need to be aware of. Financial aid. Lots to know about financial aid and filling out the forms. We have people there presenting all of those subjects for the benefit of our high school students and their parents.
All right. We're going to find out more about the Sports Education Expo after these messages.
The major holidays are almost upon us. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's. Are you prepared for your holiday party events and other needs? Call Whims for Rent. They are a professional event planning company and can package your entire business or personal holiday event, or simply provide specific needs. They provide entertainment such as DJs or three-piece bands, Christmas carol choirs, or even Santa Claus. Other entertainment possibilities include walk-around magicians, fortune tellers, or look-alike celebrities. They aid large corporate events, smaller business attractions, and family affairs. Just tell them your goals. For a free consultation and free ideas, contact Whims for Rent at 484-562-0067. Again, that's 484-562-0067. They are located at 29 Bala Ave in Bala Cynwyd, Pennsylvania, or visit them on the web at www.phillybizmedia.com.
The internet today is a must for businesses and organizations to represent themselves. A must. For the generations of business owners who did not have the advantage of an internet education beginning in grade school, there is basic help. Call American Advertising Services at 484-562-0060. Our organization of marketing personnel, traditional and IT, will set up basic internet advertising aids for your business or organization at a modest fee. Basics. No big deals, no big costs, just basics. Plus a free get-to-know-your-goals meeting. Call American Advertising Services at 484-562-0060. That's 484-562-0060. Be with it, or else you will be out of it. Again, call American Advertising Services at 484-562-0060.
Need a speaker for your business meeting, organization, social group? Need a speaker who is entertaining, informative, or both? Need a speaker who is an authority on a subject close to your interests? We provide them. We are this region's Speakers Bureau. Call us at 484-562-0067. 484-562-0067.
We're back with the marketing of business. This is your host, Bonnie Squires. We're coming to you from the studios of WWDB. That's 860 on the AM dial. And our sponsor is ACT, the region's business-to-business newspaper. Our guest today is Sherri Gold, the managing partner and event director for the Sports and Education Expo, which is coming up December 13th through the 15th at the Convention Center, downtown Philadelphia. Sherri, you have a very interesting background. It doesn't say that you were an outstanding athlete, however.
No, but I did play softball my whole life, and that is pretty much why I don't have knees right now. And right after the expo, I'll be going into the surgery room.
You're getting new knees?
Hopefully, yes.
But you have a very interesting background because you were one of the first women in management at Home Depot.
In California, yes. Many moons ago, I opened up the first two stores there. I helped, of course, open up the first two stores in California in Huntington Beach and Fullerton.
Are you a native of California?
Yes, I was born and raised in California.
And where'd you go to school?
Burbank, where the studios are, the television studios. Went to Burbank High.
Did you go on after that?
I did not. Right after high school, I actually started working when I was 13 years old. So I worked all through high school, and then as soon as I was graduated from high school, I just kept working. So,
what attracted you to Home Depot?
I've always liked being on my feet, and I am great with my hands, and I love houses, and I love home improvement. So
Are you handy?
I'm very handy. For 15 years, I bought and sold houses and fixed them up and sold them. That was one of my businesses for a very long time. I flipped houses, and that
I'm impressed.
And that kind of went into my staging business from there, where I would also prepare other people's houses to get ready for sale.
That's a big business today, staging your home.
It is in major metropolitan areas, not so much like where I lived or where I moved to in New Jersey, but it is in almost all major cities. It's almost like a requirement to get
Explain what means staging a house.
Staging a house simply means making it look its best so that when a potential buyer walks in, they're going to walk in, fall in love with it, say, oh, I could live here. This is comfortable. You have to apply to their senses, psychologically and physically, to make them want to purchase your home.
Fresh flowers and get rid of the clutter.
Yeah, I mean, in its simplest forms, it means that. It means having a neutral colors or, removing excess stuff so people feel like the house is bigger than it is. Lots of...
You could do that with mirrors.
There's a lot of psychological and physical tricks to do.
Now, and you met your husband in Home Depot.
I did.
What department was he in?
Well, that's kind of a funny story. They brought my husband in and gave him the position that I was supposed to be promoted to.
Ooh,
And
ouch.
then to add insult to injury, they wanted me to train him. So I didn't kind of like him very much in the beginning, and I wasn't
This is
very
like the
nice.
movie with Jane Fonda. I remember this movie. Okay, good.
But 27 years later, it's all okay.
What was the position?
I was a manager of, it used to be grouped together where you would have paint and garden and like electrical would be together, and you'd be the manager over those three areas. So that's what it was.
And how difficult was it for you to train your successor, not successor, the interloper who came and took your job away?
Well, it wasn't difficult for me, but it was very difficult for him.
And how
It all worked out. We happen to be a very good team, and we have worked together every day since then for 27 years. We're one of those rare couples who can be together 24/7. And we do better working together than we do apart. So
And that's very rare.
it is
24
rare,
hours a day.
and it is hard on some days. But we complement each other. So
Now, tell us how you got the idea to have a sports and education expo.
it was a few seeds that got planted. Mostly, it's based on personal experience. Second, based on work experience. So it's from our own personal experience being parents of student athletes. The whole route of, Little League, town ball, working our way into travel ball, viewing the good, the bad, and the ugly along the way. Both in coaching, what it requires of parents to sacrifice and kids to sacrifice. And
It
also,
is a sacrifice.
It is a sacrifice.
The mothers that get up at 5 a.m. to drive their kids to row on the river or to go to the gym early.
Oh, you
or
bet.
the ice skating rink.
You bet.
Really, it
when
is
my
a
son played
sacrifice.
hockey, we were up and out of the house at 4:30 in the morning, and I can't tell you the miles we've put on our car for baseball alone. It's all worth it, but it's a sacrifice and it's a job, and everybody has to be on board to make that happen. So everything that we've seen in that process. Another thing that stood out was the injuries that were happening to these young kids at an early age. So these little things just kind of accumulate. You put them in your Rolodex, and then from the business side of things, having put on lots of fundraising events and being an exhibitor at other expos, seeing what we liked, what we didn't like, and then the culminating watering of those seeds was simply when my children went into high school. And because I didn't go to college, I had to really research, what do I do with my kids? What classes do they pick? How do we go about being eligible for NCAA? Those kinds of things. So it kind of all came together in a head, and I realized we had some gaps out there. And so I'm trying to fill those gaps, but share them with all other parents and students under one roof.
Are you tempted to take classes at college with your kids when they're attending?
Listen, I have been wanting to go to college for years now, so I hope someday I'm going to be able to do that, and it would be really nice if I could go to college with my kids.
I always love these human interest stories where the mother and the daughter both graduate at the same time.
That's really neat, and I hope I actually hope I can make the time to do that if I don't have another project going by then.
Yeah, you've had a lot of projects. And I think my favorite in your background was that in 1988, you and your husband bought North American Foam out in
Yes.
California.
Yes.
And the company was worth $50,000 with 6 employees when you bought it. And then when you sold it in 2005, it was a $20 million business. How did you do that? What magic wand? And did you bring it with you into the studio?
I wish I had a magic wand. The only thing I know is lots and lots and lots of hard work. Many, many hours. It was a long road with that business. We had no idea about foam when we purchased the business.
What's the foam used for?
Insulation? Our customers were furniture and mattress manufacturers.
Oh, okay.
So we took big, huge blocks of foam and we cut them down to size based on the specs of a furniture manufacturer, and cut it up, shipped it off to them, and that was that. So when we started...
if you want to take a break, you just lie down on a piece of foam, right?
Well, we did. The sad thing, though, is that after years of working the business and being sick all the time, it's when I found out I was actually allergic to all the chemicals in that foam. So I had to, it was pretty bad. So I actually had to move myself back into my house to work. And then I was kind of lonely at home doing my
telecommuting.
And so that's where the real estate came in and the staging businesses.
Okay. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with our guest, Sherri Gold.
All American Sports Collectibles is the only place you need to know for all your autographed sports memorabilia. Jerseys, bats, helmets, and more, signed by legends of the past and today's greats. All autographed items come with a certificate of authenticity, plus an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. And all vintage items have been scientifically authenticated and come with 2 forensic certificates. Call us at 877-827-7822. That's 877-827-7822. Visit us online to see our extensive inventory of autographed sports memorabilia. That's aasportscollectibles.com. That's aasportscollectibles.com.
We're a Philadelphia advertising agency, American Advertising Services, and our job is to create solutions for your business problems. Do you want more customers, more sales for your products or business services? American Advertising has helped many, many area companies, large ones, small ones, family-owned firms just like yours. If you are in business and serious, make American Advertising your advertising agency. Per job assignments welcomed. American Advertising Services. We are serious about helping your business.
American Advertising Services is located at 29 Bala Avenue, Bala Cynwyd, PA 19004. 29 Bala Avenue, Bala Cynwyd, PA 19004. You can call them at 484-562-0060, 484-562-0060, 484-562-0060.
Welcome back to the Marketing of Business. This is your host, Bonnie Squires. We're talking today to Sherri Gold, the managing partner and event director for the Sports and Education Expo. That's coming up December 13th and to the 15th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. And Sherri, if people want to get involved with or buy tickets or have a booth, where do they reach you?
They can reach me at 800-825-1575.
That's 800-825-1575.
Or they can visit our website at www.sportseducationexpo.com.
That's www.sportseducationexpo.com. Who is this Mark Rosenthal who's involved with you with the expo?
Mark Rosenthal is our fabulous partner, longtime friend of my husband's. He happens to be the executive producer of the Mitch Albom Show in Detroit. So he lives here in Haddonfield, but he commutes to work every week in Detroit. Fabulous guy, fabulous event planner, a wonderful singer. And
Mitch Albom is the author who wrote Tuesdays with Maury, right?
That is correct.
He's phenomenal.
Mitch is a great guy. He's going to actually be joining us Friday night at the expo doing his sports radio show live from the floor. And he also is going to be launching his latest book, First Phone Call from Heaven. So he'll be doing a book signing Saturday night at a separate ticketed event at the convention center.
How did you pick Philadelphia and the Convention Center as the site for your first Sports and Education Expo?
Everybody thought I was a little bit crazy, but we collectively decided that there was so much information for us to provide and so much, so many activities that we felt we could do. We felt like we really wanted to have this in a very large and centrally located place. Philadelphia is a huge sports city within itself. So it makes sense.
The sports fans in Philadelphia are not rivaled by any other city. I am convinced. I mean, anytime you hear somebody who's from out of town and they tell you the Philadelphia sports fans are crazy, electric, wonderful, supportive, they could kill you if you lose, but when you win, woo!
I would agree with you, and I think that was kind of an overriding thought process of how awesome the sports fans are in Philadelphia. And also the city of Philadelphia and their commitment to improving education and supporting their community. It just made sense for what we're doing. Not to mention it's home to some of the top medical facilities in the world. So it was a direct match for what we're covering with sports education and health and wellness. I never thought of anything except going big. And quite honestly, we rented out the hall at the first floor, and we have had to take over half of the floor across the street, and we are now going to be taking up the floor above us. We have so many fabulous things happening, and things keep getting added every day.
It's sort of like the Olympics, because you're going to feature baseball, softball, soccer, golf, lacrosse, tennis, rowing, football. What else?
Fishing and archery. We actually...
Oh, I was a whiz at archery at camp.
Were you?
Every
Guess
summer.
what?
I won all kinds of awards.
We're going to have the Olympic archery coach on site with us, and we are going to have the Mid-Atlantic Youth Anglers Association joining us as well.
What was the name of that film?
Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games.
She taught the Olympic
Yes.
the Olympic coach taught Jennifer Lawrence for that role. So it'd be very exciting if we could have Jennifer Lawrence, too, if you're out there listening.
That would be very nice, yes, especially since her co-star, Bradley Cooper, and from Silver Linings, is a Philadelphia area native.
We would love to have Bradley Cooper, too, wouldn't we?
What a cutie.
And plus, the Hunger Games, too, is coming out in November, so it'd be really nice. It's a nice tie-in, but, those are two sports that people don't think of, really, as sports, and they're huge. Even the Army Academy has a fabulous archery team. There's a lot to be said for it, and we would really like to expose children to things that they may not have normally thought of.
And if a kid is not coordinated enough to run up and down the basketball court or isn't big enough to play football, there are so many other sports that are individual sports where they can and they don't need the same kinds of skills that you need for these big team sports.
Well, we have another company that's coming too. It's newly formed. It's called Kids Try 3, and it's actually like a triathlon for the younger set, which is, I've never seen it before, and it's so I'm very excited to have them with us as well.
See, my exercise consists of my walking from my front door to my car, from my car to my client's office, and then home again. That's the extent of although I do garden, and I do change the kitty litter, and that does take some muscular ability, I have to say, because we have two cats.
I'm guilty of the same since I started this project. Pretty much at a desk 16 hours a day, but
well, who blessed your enterprise at the Pennsylvania Convention Center? Must be very expensive to rent the convention center, right?
Yes. It's not so much that as the union and having, it's all the other incidentals that add up. My partners and I are funding this whole thing, financing this, and so it's us. I've taken the last 2 years off of work to be able to work on this project. It's been a labor of love, and We'll count ourselves successful if every person that comes in to visit us just takes one thing out that helps them.
How much will it cost to enter the Sports and Education Expo?
Over the weekend, it's open to the public, and adults are $20. Students 13 and up are $10. Kids 12 and under are free. Your tickets
is the ticket just for one day, or it could
it's
be
for both?
All?
Like if you came in on Saturday, your ticket would be good for Sunday. If you don't get a chance to visit all the workshops and exhibits that are going on, they are welcome to come back on Sunday and join us. Friday is an actual professional development day for coaches, athletic directors, athletic trainers, and guidance counselors. We have an entire day of workshops available to them covering all kinds of topics. Health and wellness will be covering concussions, heat illness, podiatry, overuse injuries, preseason conditioning, even down to skincare. Virtua is our presenting sponsor and our health care provider over the course of the expo, and we have some amazing doctors coming to provide a lot of these workshops. Athletic trainers will be able to come and get CEU units before the end of the year. And we have fabulous guest speakers. Cal and Bill Ripken are going to be our keynote speakers that night, Friday night, and Jim Thompson from the Positive Coaching Alliance is going to be our keynote speaker Friday morning. He's a fabulous gentleman because the overriding theme of this show is positive coaching.
I noticed that, therefore, you did not invite Bobby Knight to be a coach. Positive coaching was not his thing. Winning, yes, but not positive.
And Bobby did that well.
yes, he did. But you know who really is a positive coach? John Chaney, who for many, many years, decades, coached the winning Temple basketball team, and he was like the father confessor. He was like their professor. He was Miss Manners. I mean, he was the substitute parent. He was absolutely phenomenal, and he still is attached to Temple University and to his former students, many of whom went on not just to graduate from Temple, but to have graduate degrees and to have fabulous careers, not necessarily in basketball, but success in other areas of their lives.
And this is one of the things that's important at our show. Sports are important for a lot of reasons. For learning leadership and time management and competence and discipline. Sports are very important. And we would like to point out that, a lot of companies now are literally recruiting student athletes from college simply for those reasons, because they already have those major work skills in place. So, and hopefully we'll be able to provide more information like that to help these kids stay in sports and get to where they want to go in college and have great jobs afterwards.
There are so many colleges and universities in the greater Delaware Valley between South Jersey and the 5 counties in the Philadelphia area. Have you signed up a lot of colleges and universities already?
We have a few, and we have Penn State coming because they have a wonderful golf management.
Penn State. Boo, hiss. My degrees are from Penn, and I worked at Temple. Okay, Penn State. All right.
So can you get Temple here for us?
Well, Temple hasn't signed on yet?
Not yet. We're working on our college planning fair right now.
Okay. I'm sure that they'll be, as soon as they hear what you've outlined, I'm sure they will sign up. Absolutely. St. Joe's, I mean, they're all, University of Pennsylvania. There are so many, and the community colleges, too.
Yes, we have the BCC, the Burlington Community College, coming and joining us as well.
Okay.
And we're also going to be providing a speed networking fair for veterans as well.
Oh, that's a hot topic these days.
We have veterans involved in the expo on many levels, so I'm sorry we didn't have a chance to get into that.
That's wonderful. Okay, our guest today on the Marketing of Business has been Sherri Gold, the managing partner and event director for the upcoming Sports and Education Expo at the Philadelphia Convention Center, which sounds fabulous. And you can reach her at 800-825-1575. That's 800-825-1575. And Sherri, give us your website again.
www.sportseducationexpo.com.
Okay. Thank you so much, and we'll see everybody next week.